to GHToday here on GHOne TV, and it's time for the breakfast review segment. My guests are here in the studio, and a big thank you if you're watching us, wherever it is you're watching us from. We appreciate that you've tuned in to GHOne TV this morning, and we want you to contribute to the program. And so we are streaming live on Facebook. You can leave a comment under our Facebook live stream. Let's hear what you've got to say about the issues that we're discussing here on the show this morning. Quite a lot to talk about, you know. The political season is rife, and so we are seeing people defecting from one camp to the other, among other things, you know. Meanwhile, the TUC has written an open letter to Professor Stephen Adair, accusing him of always attacking the Ghanaian worker, and they believe that there's really no merit in the things that he says, you know, among other things. We'll talk about all of these issues here on the show today. My guests in the studio today, Dr. Ezekiel Ajekum Obeng is here in the studio. He's a member of the NPP's communications team. Doc, good morning.
Good morning, Tom.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great, by God's grace. I mean, as always.
Nice one, and it's great to have you here in the studio. Also here in the studio is Dr. Same Aye. He's a member of the NDC's communications team. Doc, good morning.
Good morning, Lantam.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me as well.
I hope you are doing well.
We are managing. Just that these days we have been inundated with doomso every now and then. Yesterday, unfortunately, when I got home after work, I was greeted with doomso.
You didn't have lights?
It does appear that the doomso had been there for about 12 hours, even before I went to the house. So I had to move from my place to another place. And I think that many Ghanaians have also expressed worry about the situation. You yourself was very angry this morning about the way and manner the people of Ghana have been disrespected, even in the face of clear doomso. The authorities in power clearly do not want to come to terms with the people of Ghana, just to publish a doomso timetable so that we all know where we are and where we are going, so that you can plan your life around it. But it does appear that the institutions that are supposed to do that are learning from the energy minister, because he has already said that if you want doomso timetable, publish your own doomso timetable. So it is very unfortunate that we will be expecting a timetable from the ECG, because they are never going to publish that. So I think that it's a very unfortunate situation, and we appeal to leadership to bear with the people of Ghana and listen to what we have to say.
Okay. Mr. Kwame Jantwa is here in the studio as well. Mr. Jantwa is a member of the CPP, the Convention People's Party. He's also a private legal practitioner. I have a very nice panel today, 2 doctors and a lawyer. Very nice, you know, to have that panel today. Mr. Jantwa, good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Very well.
Good to know. It's great to have you in the studio.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Yes.
When you wake up in the morning and you're breathing, you just thank your God.
Mr. Jantwa, let me.
Anything that has happened in this world has happened before. Has doomso not happened before?
There's nothing new under the sun.
Did we not go through it?
Yeah, we've gone through it, every administration.
So your mindset should be positive, because you got to live.
How bad does it hit you?
It's hit everybody, not only me.
I'm asking about you in particular.
Often it's you get home, there's no light. Fair enough. You bath. And the sad thing is that sometimes you get home, there's no light, there's no water. Water is off, light is off. What can you do?
Well, at least with the water, you know when it's going to flow. And
the powers that be are not prepared to tell us why. So,
well, but you're the lawyer in the studio, Mr. Jantwa. So let me begin with you on this one. The PURC have already told the ECG that they need to pay certain fines. But the ECG board is saying that what the PURC has told them to do is unlawful. And so there is this back and forth over whether or not the PURC properly executed their mandates, or should I say, did what they were required or allowed by law to do, or whether or not they acted ultra-virus. The ECG believes that they acted ultra-virus, and so they are not going to pay any fine. How do you view this situation? Looking at the mandates of the PURC, what they are supposed to do, what they have done by fining the board members of the ECG, and the ECG, through their lawyers, writing to say that it's unlawful.
Good morning to my brothers on the panel and to Ghanaians. Anything I say would be my opinion as a defense lawyer or as a prosecution lawyer. No, so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to a judge to determine
Yes.
whether the facts that I put out are facts that the law supports and can be applied to whatever case is brought. So my answer to that is that they should test it in court. Simple. If the board feel they haven't been treated well, they should go to court. And let's test it in court. It's not a question for Kwame Jantua to sit here and say, oh no, they had a lot to do. They had a lot to do. I'm not interested in that. You know what I'm interested in?
But do you agree with the fine?
You know what I'm interested in.
I want to know if you agree with the fine.
So far as I'm concerned, this is all deflecting the major challenge and the major problem. What do Ghanaians want? You think this spat going on between PRC and ECG, Ghanaians are interested in it? What Ghanaians want? Find the money to give us electricity. Period. All this is just a wayside and a way and this one it does not solve the problem. So you find them 5.8 million. Do we get our light? Do we get our light? So far as I'm concerned, it's not important. What is important is find the money. Government, find the money. We voted government into power to take care of the country. If you feel the soup is too hot and you can't take care of the country, jump out of it. Period. So they go to court and they say, oh, yes, you have the right, ECG has the, PRC has the right to find ECG, and PURC has the right to find the board members because there's causation in there. They are part and parcel of ECG making decisions, and they should have been able to identify what the challenge was before it got to where it got to. So they are culpable. Another one will argue, no, they are not culpable because they are not part and parcel of the daily running of ECG. And so a judge will say, okay, according to the law, according to ECG, PRC regulations, they have the right to do it. Perhaps the fine was a bit too high, so we would reduce it to X, reduce it to Y. Does it bring the light back? Does it bring the light back? No. We've heard today Gridco saying they are shedding 500 megawatts every week.
Well, I don't know about every week.
That is what I heard.
During this week,
that is what I heard.
They shed about 400 to 500
Yes, that's
megawatts.
what I heard. So, if you know you are going to shed that, what areas are going to go off? Does that not tell you that at least for this week, bring a timetable? At least, because you know where it's going to come from. How do you know you are shedding 500? If you say the outages are arbitrary, you cannot tell where it's going to come from. How can you tell this one? If you feel that there is a challenge that you can't tell us, and we know the challenge has got to do with financing, government knows, and government has made sure that all these electricity institutions are tight-lipped. we the people are saying, find the money. And you rightly said it in your earlier introduction when you and Lily were doing the newspaper round. Did we not find 250 million to do the African Games? That 250 million that we found to do the African Games, the African countries that came, were they contributing to it? That loan they took, aren't we Ghanaians paying for it? So why can't you find 250 million to buy fuel? Because the challenge of this particular Dumso has got to do with finance, debt, equipment, maintenance, cash waterfall, funding of purchasing of oil, and unfortunately, personal interest.
So it's a myriad of things.
It's a cocktail of so many things. But the sticking issue there is finance. I'm not sure whether you heard the finance minister in Washington when he was talking about Dumso. He said it's a problem that is really disturbing them. Find the money. Tell us. I was expecting the president, when he was in Kumasi, I expected him to say, when he said Ghanaians should, what do you call it? He's glad that
He thanks us for our patience.
It was a fine opportunity for him to tell us, look, Ghanaians, ABCD is what the problem is. And you know, in the John Mahama time, do you know what the major problem was? In the John Mahama Dumso?
Was generation capacity.
Capacity. And this one is what?
It's money.
Have they said it? Why can't they say it? Because maybe if they say it, it exposes them to the fact that they haven't managed the country's finances well. And it's so unfortunate. So unfortunate.
But you know the country has had issues. Has had, various issues, right? With regard to the economy.
Did they foresee Dumso when they came in 2017? Did they foresee Dumso even 2020 with COVID? Did they foresee it? Because if they foresaw it, they would have been able to handle the energy sector properly. It's finance. Basically, it's finance. This is where we all need to sit down and say, okay, if it's finance, just accept on that principle alone. So how do we get finance to be able to handle the feedstock, to buy gas, to buy even LCO, light crude oil? Where do we find the money to do it? As a country, what are some of the things we can sacrifice to make sure that we can find the money to do it? But if government isn't opening its mouth to say it is finance, how does anybody help? When they went to the IMF spring meetings, I'm sure they discussed it with the IMF people there. So get them to give us some money to try as much as possible to finance our energy sector. Because today, energy is like air, isn't it? If you suck air out of the atmosphere, everybody is dead, including plants. Same thing with energy. If the whole country goes dark, and I'm not sure whether you read the piece on Ghana Web of the airport, also Kotoka also experiencing Dumso. Is it not embarrassing? Isn't it something that...
I mean, had that one not got to do more with, cost owed to ECG? When ECG was going on a lot of disconnection exercises of state institutions and all of that.
21st March was when it happened. But it's embarrassing. Look, I went to Kumasi early March. I was sitting in Kumasi Airport coming back to Accra. The lights went off 3 times. And I've already said debt is part and parcel of the challenges we are going through. So, if we are not prepared to say what it is, what are we really doing about the cocktail of issues that we are facing? It's now turned out that, really and truly, it has got nothing to do with transformers. And from the word go, when I heard ECG talk about with transformers, I knew it wasn't transformers. ECG was buying time for government to come out and see what the actual problem was. But what is so difficult, Doc, for the MPP and the government to say this is the problem? What is so difficult?
Well, you mentioned that it's a cocktail of problems.
That is what I see. From my point of view, that is what I see. But why can't government say it? Is it because somewhere down the line in 2015, in the last one, they castigated the government that right now, if they feel they also say it will work, against them. But I believe if they are truthful about what the problem is, and they can tell us how they are handling the problem, Ghanaians will understand. But we don't know what the problem is. We don't. In the Mahama time, we knew it was capacity. It's a challenge, capacity. Yes, there was a bit of finance too in there. So what is stopping them? Are we all not Ghanaians? Are we not all going through it? And maybe the powers that be are not going through it because their life should be on, so they don't feel what Ghanaians are feeling. The most sad thing is when you're driving home and you get into your neighborhood and you see all the lights are out. You ask yourself, again? And then you get home. By the time you open your door, the heat in the room alone does not allow you to even sit. You sit on your bed, the bed sheet is already warm before you can even put your head on the pillow. You've sat here, you've talked, you've done this, you're going home for a little bit of peace. You get there, you can't sleep. I would ask government, please, where we are today, just tell us what the major problem is.
Right.
And let's try and solve it together as a country.
Okay. Dr. Ayo, let me come to you before I come to our government rep.
Let me first of all say a good morning to our viewers, the people of Ghana, the members of the NDC. And I believe tomorrow is the official or formal outdooring of our vice presidential candidate, Professor Nana Ajinopoku-Agyemang.
It's tomorrow.
Yes, it's tomorrow.
Okay.
I want to use the opportunity to invite the distinguished members of the media, to invite students, the general public, opinion leaders, and the business community and other stakeholders to the official inauguration of Professor Nana Ajinopoku-Agyemang, an astute educationist, a foremost academic, former vice chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, former education minister, board chairman and president of African Women Educationists, chancellor of African Women Universities in Africa, somebody who commands a lot of respect. She will dignify and redefine the office of vice presidency. She will be the co-pilot to John Dramani Mahama. She will come on board with an experienced, humble, diligent pair of hands. She will never dabble in the sort of propaganda and obvious desecration of the office of vice presidency like what Bawumia has been doing. She will accord the people of Ghana with respect. She will let the people of Ghana know the enormity, the weight behind the office of vice president. She will respect the people of Ghana. She will not throw in ridiculous lies like the vice president has been doing for the past few years. And so I want to use this opportunity to invite everyone, every stakeholder in this country for tomorrow's inauguration of Professor Nana Ajinopoku-Agyemang, who will join John Dramani Mahama to alleviate the people of Ghana from the problem we have or we have been having for the past 7 years under the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government.
Right.
Now to the issue. You see, let me throw in this tree adage. You say the Usuno or Suneniwa. The people of Ghana do not want to hear the banter between PULC and ECG. All they want to know is that they want their lives on. Because the reason why many Ghanaians do not want to agree, do not want to understand that we are in doomsday now is because of the heavy lifting John Dramani Mahama did in 2015. Mr. Jantua rightfully pointed it out. Our energy situation has been a protracted issue. In 1983, there was doomsday. In 1997, there was doomsday. In 2007, 2008, there was doomsday. In fact, it is on record that pastors were organized and paraded from Suhum and other areas in the eastern region to Akosombo to pray so that rains will fall for us to be able to use all our turbines to produce electricity. At the time, no permanent solution was done under the MPP government in 2007-2008 to bring to a stop our energy crisis. It was President Mahama who came and told the people of Ghana that he will not manage our power situations like other governments have done. In fact, I have in my hand John Mahama's 2015 State of Nations address, and I
didn't say President Kufuor didn't do anything, about the doomsday situation.
They brought some generators. In fact, their own members in the MPP, Dr. Rekubrobe, told the people of Ghana that what President Kufuor brought was toy generators.
Yeah, but we also had President Kufuor starting, the Bui Dam.
So at the time,
which augments
the
power generation that
at
we
the
have,
time,
adds megawatts to the grid.
At the time, no emergency intervention was done to curb the issue. It was President Mahama that came to do it. In fact, I have in my hand page 3 of President Mahama's State of Nations address in 2015. He said, "We have been here before in 1983, in 1998, in 2006, 2007. We suffered a similar occurrence. In the past, what we have done has been to manage the situation. I do not intend to manage the situation. Okay? I will manage the people of Ghana out of this situation. I intend to fix it. I owe it to the people of Ghana. I, John Dramani Mahama, will fix the energy challenge." So when President Mahama came, okay, he managed to reassemble at the time and bring on board TICO, which was providing the people of Ghana about 330 to 340 megawatts. He brought car power. He negotiated Ameri, the same Ameri MPP demonized. Okay, not only did he do that, so at the time we had a deficit, okay, of about 700 megawatts. By TICO, by car power, by Ameri, we had breached that gap. He also established the Atuabo gas plant, a $1 billion facility that saves the people of Ghana $300 million a year. Atuabo gas plant produces 120 million standard cubic feet of gas to power our generational plants. Okay, President Mahama also instituted ESLA, the Energy Sector Levy Act, which as of now has produced 25 billion Ghana cedis from its receivables. The MPP government collateralized ESLA, securitized it for ESLA PLC bonds, and spent the money. As I sit here, I can tell you on authority that the monies that were gotten from ESLA PLC were not used, some of them were not used for what they were intended to be used for. And so they have spent the money. So today, they do not have money to buy fuel to power our plants. They owe N-Gas, the Nigerian gas. They owe ENI. They owe tallow oil. Huge sums of monies. They owe the IPPs $1.5 billion if you use the present exchange rate at 13.5. Humongously huge. Meanwhile, this is a government that inherited a fund that was generating billions of Ghana cedis to pay all these energy sector legacy debts. That was visionary John Dramani Mahama. He solved doomsday to a point that Baumia went to sit in the studios of Joy FM in March 2016 to tell the people of Ghana that John Mahama has fixed Dumso, but I will not clap for him. Or say Chairman Bonsu told the people of Ghana that John Mahama solved Dumso. Legions of MPP members told the people of Ghana that John Mahama was the one that fixed Dumso. And Mr. Jantua sitting here will agree with me that Dumso was solved. The reason why people do not understand that we are in Dumso is because they know that the situation has been fixed. By the end of 2015, the situation has been fixed. So it is debts, huge mismanagement and recklessness in the energy sector that has rendered the country unable to buy gas or fuel. Today, because of their recklessness, they cannot go and borrow. Today, we need about $50 million a month to buy fuel. They are not able to get that money because nobody is willing to give them money to pay that or to buy that because they have been reckless. This is not a government that you give your money to. This is not a government that you loan monies to for anything they intend to, because they will not do it. Who has 25 billion Ghana cedis accrued to him and waste it? You owe just about every state institution in Ghana. Meanwhile, you are the government that have got more money than any government. At the last reckoning, they have had 925 billion Ghana cedis in the last 7 years, as compared to 248 under the NDC government. Over 5 times what the NDC government had. But still managed under the NDC to solve Dumso and solve many other protracted problems in this country. You have had this huge amount of monies, but still unable to deliver this country from Dumso. And when the people of Ghana talk, you churn out ridiculous, unintelligent lies that do not make sense to any carefully reasoning, independent-minded person. That is why we are where we are today. They say they are fixing transformers. Tomorrow they are saying that their wires are out. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Energy Committee in Parliament has accepted and has told everyone in this country that the ECG should publish Dumso timetable because it is an issue of generation. Financially, they are not able to buy gas and fuel to power our plant. And Mary is there. All the other IPPs are there. Asogli. In fact, last year, WAPCO and Asogli threatened to shut down their plant because millions of dollars were owed them. How can you have these monies and still plunge this country into this Dumso? So today, when you go on the streets, people are crying. People's businesses are collapsing. Right. People who own frozen food businesses, hairdressers, electricians, repairers, businesses are collapsing, not because we do not have adequate generation, because you people have spent the money and you're unable to buy gas or fuel. And so many Gen Z folks, even though they are worried about the situation, have not averted their minds to the problem. So we, sitting on TV, must educate them. We must let them know that the government have wasted their money. The government has poured all the money that they have gotten, and they are unable to buy fuel to power our plant. That is why we are in Dumso now, and nothing more. No amount or diversions, Doc, will solve the issue.
Doc, let me bring you, into the conversation. At this point, with all of this situation of the power situation, the PURC, the ECG, and all the matters that are rising as a result.
Lanton, good morning.
Your fellow panelists have said.
Good morning once again, and good morning to my fellow panelists. Good morning to the good people of Ghana and the Vice President, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, and the people of the MPP persuasion. We are happy with the CHAS Conference of our state secondary schools, who met with the Vice President yesterday. He was able to tell them about his vision for the educational sector. The Vice President intends to continue with free SHS. Unlike the others, this government and future governments of the NPP would not throw away free SHS. We've seen the benefit free SHS, free TVET has accrued. Over 5.7 million Ghanaians benefiting from the policy. The Vice President intends to improve and continue with free SHS. And he's promised and has stated, once again, in terms of education, in the health sector, we are building hospitals across the country with Agenda 111. So we would need more qualified medical practitioners to man those facilities. So he's going to improve access to medical education. He's going to expand legal education in the country. And he said that when given opportunity, our brothers and sisters in the universities, he's going to implement one student, one laptop policy. We've done it for teachers. We are doing it for the young ones in SHS. So he intends to expand it to the universities to give every student a laptop. Government will absorb 70% of it. The 30% of the laptop, the cost, will be borne by the student. And the student has 4 years to pay the 30%. I think that's very welcoming. Well, I always say that if some of us had this opportunity, when we're in SS, if we had opportunity to own a tablet, when we're in the university, if we had opportunity for government to give us tablets, not laptops that would last 3 months and less, then I think some of us would have performed even better when we're in school. The problem of buying textbooks and chasing handouts here and there would not have been the way they were when we're in the university. So we thank the Vice President for such vision, and we hope we situate the argument properly, and we invite people to come and give their views, their visions, and what they intend to do in every sector, as the Vice President has done. On the issue of PURC and ECG, clearly it's a legal issue. The lawyers of the board have stated a few reasons why they believe it's unlawful. They stated that indeed the board is not responsible for day-to-day running of ECG. At the same time, they believe that the PURC does not have the mandate, it's not within their jurisdiction to pronounce such judgment, and they are clothing themselves with powers of the court. So like Mr. Jantua said, it's clearly a legal issue, and the board, likewise PURC, has the opportunity to seek redress in court. One, let's make mountain out of molehill statement and argument that have been made by Mr. Jantua. Mr. Jantua, at every opportunity he gets, tries to tell the good people of Ghana the country is collapsed and the country is mismanaged and the country is whatnot. And I always try to remind Mr. Jantua that a country that's mismanaged cannot keep our lights on for 7 good years. The country that's mismanaged cannot provide education for the masses we are seeing. The country that's mismanaged cannot pay teachers' salaries when they are not working during COVID. The country that's mismanaged cannot put up 111 facilities, hospitals across the country. The country that's mismanaged.
Has all have the hospitals been put up?
I'm happy they are all at various stages of completion.
So don't say it's been completed.
I haven't said anything's completed. I said the country that's mismanaged cannot put up 111 hospitals across the country.
That's what we're talking about.
Electricity, and you veered off and started talking about what's not.
Finance.
The country that's mismanaged, Mr. Jantua, all these things are financing. All these projects I've mentioned are all finance driven.
So what happened to electricity?
The country that's mismanaged,
what happened to electricity?
Cannot construct the numerous roads we've seen across the country.
What happened to electricity?
The country that's mismanaged cannot put 169 factories across the country, employing over 140,000 youth.
We will see. So why do we have the power challenge?
On the issue of the power, once again, my brother Sammy, I understand where they are coming from. Let's start the argument from one north and President Kufuor and President Rawlings. Everyone experienced doom so Mr. Mahama experiencing doom so is just an old adage. That's not the case. The issues that precipitated the doom so, your own candidate told us that we were in doom so because Ghanaians were owning 3 phones. And you are here saying what? He told us that Ghanaians have multiple phones, and that when they go to sleep, they are charging their phones. And we are the cause of the doom so because we are owning multiple phones.
I mean, did he say that is the reason why?
He said it was the cause of the power issue.
What the
man emphatically said it.
Because
the man emphatically said it. Lantern, he said it.
Are you sure?
He said it.
Where?
He said it. Go and I'll give you an information.
No, I remember he made a statement like that, but did he categorically
he made a statement like how?
It is because
he made a statement like how? How can Ghanaians powering their phone? How can Ghanaians powering their phone contribute to Doomso or anything associated with Doomso? How can mobile phones contribute to Doomso?
I'm not sure he said that is the cause.
He told us we are charging our phones and we are buying 3-4 phones. Lantern. And it's on record. The former energy minister, Mr. Boache Ejako, has said it. than when we took power. During the first quarter of 2017, we were still experiencing doom so. So how did you solve doom so? And all these things my brother is saying, the tip of the iceberg. You are mentioning what? Cold store operators who are not making ends meet, barbers, whatnot. How many weeks? Few weeks of light out. We understand the problems the Ghanaian is facing.
But it's not a few
when
weeks.
I go home,
I mean, it's been there since the beginning of the year.
Home, oh, 4 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12 weeks. So I'm right to say a few weeks. 3 times 4. We are in the 4th month, isn't it?
So that's okay.
So from the beginning,
okay.
Let me finish. You understand what I mean? From the beginning of the year, we've done 3 months. So 3 times 4 is 12. So a few weeks. And my brother is here touting how it's affected people. People's businesses. You see, when the NDC speaks like this, I always say that they are telling Ghanaians not to make the mistake of bringing them back. 12 weeks, 13 weeks of erratic power supply or power challenges. And you are telling us, outlining the effect doing so is having on small-scale businesses, large-scale businesses, individual homes. If 4 weeks is to all the problems my brother has outlined, simple ratio and proportion. Go and ask every free SHS student. They'll be able to tell you. 4 weeks is to all the problems outlined. Therefore, 4 years of Mr. Mohammed's reign, what were the effects of the doomsday on people's lives?
What have you done about that?
What were the effects on people's livelihoods, on people's businesses? 12 weeks, max. You are outlining litany, a plethora of problems you've experienced in the 12 weeks of doomsday. Therefore, 4 years equals what? It means the losses, the problems you inflicted, self-inflicted. There was no global issue.
Is that to
then.
say we shouldn't be concerned?
I'm coming there.
About what is happening now.
When I'm done,
because it was
you know where I'm going.
Somebody else.
We started from President Rawlings when he was making his statement. Was it right to have plunged the country into darkness for 4 years because under President Rawlings we had doomsday? But he was telling us, President Rawlings gave us doomsday. President Kufuor's time, they sent pastors to Akosombo and there was doomsday. Therefore, he was justifying the doomsday we experienced under Mr. Mahama. And I'm saying that if 12 weeks equals all the problems my brother is outlining, therefore 4 years equals what? You can't count the losses.
Your government was...
Oh, I kept quiet. I kept quiet for you. I kept quiet for you. Therefore, 4 years equals what? The people who are done on surgical tables. You are a doctor. I'm a doctor. We know the effect of it. Major surgeries. And how much light we need to conduct those surgeries. So if 12 weeks equals all the problems the NDC is making the Ghanaians realize, therefore 4 years equals what? Simply, my brother is telling us that it's a vote of no confidence in Mr. Mahama. If MPP has kept the light on for 7 good years, and we've had few weeks of power challenges, therefore, the 4 years under you, from the start to the end of your reign, self-inflicted, totally. The only problem they told us that was lingering around the world was the fact that there were few issues with China's economy. Today, we are experiencing global economic recession, the worst in 40 years. The US government has had the worst inflation in 40 years. UK, they changed 3 prime ministers. Our own something Watson, who was once made a finance minister, he couldn't stand the effect of COVID. He had to be booted away. Italy, everywhere in the world. Today, you're a doctor. We have colleague doctors in Kenya. Kenya is suffering such that they can't even employ newly graduated doctors. They are even asking them to slash their salaries by 30%. I have friends in Kenya who are doctors, and I speak to them on a daily basis. That is the effect of the global issue we keep talking about.
And so that's a justification.
So there are obvious problems with every economy in the world. I've told you that in Ghana here, the students that graduated from West of Ghana Medical School, my alma mater, they are starting housemanship next month, 14th. Kenya, one of the best economies in Africa. They've told the doctors, we can't pay your salaries. The health sector in Kenya is on its knees. Doctors have stayed home for months. Newly qualified doctors cannot be employed because the health minister says they can't bear the cost of their salary. Conditions of service which were agreed in 2015. The ministry says, yes, we agreed, but we are sorry, we can't pay you because the economy cannot support your payments. Those are doctors, people in essential service. But when this country, COVID came, all the effects we experienced, no public sector worker was made to stay home without a salary. Teachers were stayed home for 1 good year. No salary was withheld. In your time, you are here touting Prof. GHOne Opoku-Agyeman, stakeholders, come and let's outdoor her. She's bringing hot. We've tasted her as education minister and she failed wantonly. She couldn't provide chalks for the people of Ghana. Chalks. How many times didn't we hear schools failing to reopen under Prof. Nana Opoku-Agyeman as education minister and Mr. Mahama as president, especially in the north? Today, when was the last time you heard any school refusing to open when it was time to go to school? You are calling us that we should come and adopt. Teachers taught for 36 good months.
So is this all a justification?
I'll end with it. But of course, they made certain wild allegations. And I'll round it up. I mean, don't worry. 36 good months teachers taught under Prof. GHOne Opoku-Agyeman, and they were paid just 3 months' salary. People had borrowed monies to go to work. People had families to feed. People had extended family people to take care of, nuclear, extended family to take care of, send monies home. People borrowed to go to work for 3 good years, and you pay them 3 months. And you are asking us to come and outdoor who? Teachers whose promotion were seized for 4 good years. Teachers who were never given steady leave for 4 good years, all under Prof. GHOne Opoku-Agyeman. The person who could not provide chalks. Right. You are inviting us to come and outdoor who?
Okay.
And in finishing with the energy issue,
yes,
we understand the difficulties the Ghanaian is going through. Indeed, when I go home and my light is out, I feel the same problem the Ghanaian is going through. My friend Baba, who is at ACP doing his small business, when I go to him and the light is off, I understand his plight. We understand the plight of the Ghanaian. Mm-hmm. It's the reason why we kept the lights on for 7 good years.
So what are you doing about it?
We will not come and tell the Ghanaian that it's because we are having phones, multiple phones. It's the reason why we are experiencing.
So what are you telling us now?
What we are telling you, Lantam, is that the man, the regime, the individuals that kept your light on for 4 good years. But unfortunately, we are experiencing few challenges in the power sector. We are assuring you that if we gave you uninterrupted power supply for 7 good years, we will weather the storm.
Okay.
Very soon, by God's grace, all the problems, whether cocktail, whether single food item, whether hot, and all the mirror, all of the places are.
Okay, very well.
The Ghanaian is going to see to the end of the power issue. Have faith in the MPP.
Let's move on.
Have faith in us. We will deliver and bring you back. For 7 years, we've kept the light on.
We need to move on to other issues, but maybe just a minute each, to finalize on this matter. Just a minute each, Mr. Jantua.
So, Doc has narrated all the so-called good things of this government. They've tried. They've done their best. But let me ask him one question. Where's the country's debt now? What's the country's debt now?
Should I answer?
Please, let me finish. How much do we owe? What did they come to meet? And where are we standing today with our debt? And if they've done all the things they've been able to do, why is it difficult finding money to take care of our energy situation? Why did they sit for us to get to this particular point? And as I keep saying on this platform, and I've said it not only today, I've said it numerous times, no government comes into power not to do the right thing. But once they get in, personal interest gets in. Certain priorities that they promise the people, they can't stick to it. And things go haywire. They came in when we were under IMF. Why are we back there? And they will tell you, oh, it's COVID, it's this, it's that, it's this. When they were taking the monies they were taking to cover a naked city, was it COVID? The kind of loans they took when they told us, no, we won't come for taxes, we'll come for added value and production. What kind of taxes are we paying today? And so they should tell it to the Marines. They could have done better. President Akufo-Addo could have done better with their quantum of money that he's got in this his 8 years. They could have done better. So you can postulate all the things you want to postulate. When you go down to the Ghanaian would tell you, I don't think you've been able to do the right thing by Ghanaians.
All right.
Yes,
look, Dr. Ayer.
It is bad to be in doing so. It is bad to be barraged by doing so. But it is insulting to have government spokespersons come and sit on TV and insult your intelligence. He is sitting here, he's a doctor, my colleague, okay? He is telling me that they came to meet an energy sector with an ESLA in the bank, 25 billion Ghana cedis. Monies that is more than enough to pay all the debt you have in the energy sector. More than enough to buy everything you need to put our power or our light on. But you have spent the money and you have borrowed additional 20 billion Ghana cedis. You have spent 25 billion you came to meet. You have borrowed additional 20 billion and you are sitting here telling us, you are insulting the intelligence of Ghanaians and telling us that it is COVID and other global factors that has plundered your country into this chaos. That is the level of insensitivity demonstrated by these MPP communicators. He is telling us that they have kept our light on for 7 years. Can he tell us one thing they have done to keep our power on? How have they added 1 megawatt of power to our capacity? Not even one. Not even one. Not even 1 megawatt has been added. But they come and sit on TV and claim the achievements and records of what other governments have done. That is the level of ingenuity, this ingenious propaganda by MPP and their surrogates and communicators. Who doesn't know that they have spent all the money in energy sector? Who doesn't know? And he is making noise. And now we have done. You have been in power from March 2020. Akufo-Addo promised the people of Ghana that he will build 111 agenda 111. As we speak, it's been 4 years. Meanwhile, he told us that those hospitals will be completed by the end of 2020. Not even one hospital. Not even one. After all these monies they have had, not even one hospital. The Ashanti region, they published 16 hospitals. 4 out of them are at 0 completion rate. How can you go and publish 0 completion rate hospitals on a tracker? At what stage is 0%? And these people are adding 0% hospitals to some of the hospitals they claim to have been they claim to have completed. How can you add 0% to a list of 111 hospitals? So that is the level of dishonesty and hypocrisy. Now he's trying to derive Professor Nana Jinopokwajima. Do you know that according to their tracker, they have built only 508 basic school blocks? Prof Nana, as education minister, built over 3,000 blocks under John Mahama. 3,000. Okay? She provided 12 million textbooks. These people, after all the monies they have had, have provided less than 10 million textbooks. Prof Nana, as education minister, provided 47 million exercise books. They cannot tell us the number of exercise books they are provided to the people of Ghana. We have been in this country. Capitation has been in arrears several times. School feeding, children, 1 cedi have increased. Today, Lanta, will you agree for your child to be fed with 1 cedi meal? Some people's pets will not even agree to you feeding them with 1 cedi worth of meal. But school children are being fed less than 1 cedi.
Right.
School feeding caterers picketed in front of the Ashanti Regional Ministry and told them they should increase it from 97 pesos to 1 cedi. The minister lampooned and insulted them to go away. Is this the government that is coming to deride anybody?
All right.
A government NDC government that builds universities. You have been in this country. Which university has the MPP government built? We built over 150 secondary schools. They are telling us that they are even now building 10 secondary schools. These people are the people who are comparing themselves to the NDC.
All right, very well.
So it is the height of insensitivity for people like Ezekiel to come and sit on TV.
Right, thank you. Yes, Doc, final comment on this.
Yes, Mr. Jantua, I will sit here on out the achievement. Like I always say, few bits of power issue do not make the government bad. We understand.
Since the beginning of the year is not few weeks.
We understand the plight of the Ghanaian.
Doc, since the beginning of the year is not few weeks.
And we keep assuring the good people of Ghana that we are in the same boat and we feel the same thing. We all go home to our light out and we feel bad. We are in it together.
So
we
do something
understand
about
the plight.
it.
However,
do something about it.
It is only right to reassure the people that I've kept your lights on for 7 good years.
That's
so
in
have
the past.
patience. Have patience with
It's
me.
now.
I will
It's in the
deal
past.
with the current issue. Once again, my brother Sammy, few weeks of power issues.
Is it few
Do not
since the beginning of the year, from like December going to this year, it's not few weeks. You want to make it seem as just small.
Few weeks of power issues do not erase the incompetence.
It's 3 months
and failures of yesterday.
To tell you what they did to keep power on for 7 years.
The incompetence and failures of yesterday can never be erased by the few weeks of power issues. And no matter how much you try to paint Prof. Nana Opoku-Agyeman, whichever books you said, what shall it profit a man if you claim you provided 4 million books and you can't provide a chalk? The teachers you were providing the books to and the students took loans to work for 3 years. Go and explain that to the teacher.
Have you provided textbooks?
The teachers.
Have you provided textbooks?
If you talk, I keep quiet. I can equally interject you.
After how many?
But I give you all the respect. I give you all the respect. Not to provide textbooks. Okay. I'm providing free SHS. Right. And all its accompaniment. I'm providing even PE kits. I'm providing school cloth. I'm providing even monies for students' results to be transmitted to the house. It's part of the first package. Everything about school for 5 CD per student at least is part of it. Go and check.
I know all of these
things under free SHS. You're asking if I provided books. I'm providing books. I'm providing textbooks. I'm providing everything.
Argue about the challenges that the free SHS
even when we were paying
with regard to
when we were paying fees under Prof. Nana Opoku-Agyeman, when people were paying fees, didn't we see schools collapsing all the time?
Right.
Didn't we see schools refusing to reopen? Right. I was in school and we all saw the challenges. Lantam, you gave them enough time. You even targeted me. Give me 1 minute, please.
Let's move on.
So no matter how much you try to paint the woman, she's the same person that couldn't provide chalks. She's the same person that made teachers teach for 36 good months and pay them just 3 months salary. She's the same person that gave employment 12 to 24 months to teachers, revoked the initial employment and gave them new letters that would cater for just 4 months after 24 months they've taught. She's the same person that supervised teachers, never been given any educational leave 4 years under her reign. Okay. She's the same person that refused to promote teachers when they were teaching. And look at the investment and the progress in the educational sector.
Thank you very much.
No matter what you try to say, the 4 years under you, if you are going to do comparative analysis and you believe 3 months of power challenges equals this, calculate the losses. The problems you brought on Ghanaians and the height of insensitivity is what characterizes your government.
Let's move on to
Lantam. Why are you doing this to me? People speak and you allow them to speak.
I'm looking at the time. Don't worry. Sometimes when you are talking, you don't realize that the time is going. But I'm always
you tell us whether they have added 1 megawatt. 1 megawatt
on the issue of insensitivity. On the issue of insensitivity,
you cannot tell us.
The most insensitive government you've ever experienced is the government that had fire guttering people's properties and livelihoods. Yet they took money, squandered money, laundered money meant for market sellers. The height of insensitivity is when the government or a president believes that I can give 300 CD to a pig farmer to expand her pig business, bring her to parliament and tell me he is doing State of the Nation address, evidence-based, and at the back of it, squander 15 million, all in the name of a confirmed. That is the height of insensitivity.
Let's go to this next issue. So the season of political defections is kicking in. Some supporters of Alan Kyerematen say that they have defected from the movement for change, and also that will mean the Alliance for Revolutionary Change, because that's what Alan is leading now. Yesterday there was a press conference. They expressed the reasons why they have left, but the Alan camp says that money is involved, that these individuals are being given money, enticed with money, to come back into the MPP and to derail the campaign of Alan Kyerematen. I don't know, Mr. Janto, how do you view this whole saga? They say about 6,000. That's what the newspapers are reporting. 6,000 people have defected from Alan's camp back to the MPP.
But the The butterfly movement. How many are they?
I don't know. I don't know. But the number in the thousands,
proof,
I suppose.
Look. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. 7th December will tell us. And you know what's going to happen? A lot of the MPP supporters who are not happy with what's happening in the MPP, at the present moment, they will support and clap hands and, do whatever they need to do for people to see, oh, they are still the MPP. When they get into the ballot box, they'll do something different. For me, agroniform. This election, agroniform. It's on the day when we do the election, people go and vote. The results of it will tell you all these things, whether it's true or it's false. So let us think that we can do whatever we want to do and get our own way through. For me, I think the butterfly movement, and now you said it's called what? Alliance for
Revolutionary Change.
Yes.
Can make a national interest movement.
Can make an impact
of Dr. Sakari.
Especially, you see, what really got me to think this way, especially in Ashanti, was it last week they inaugurated the new Ameri, the Kumasi one?
Yes.
It was last week.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How immediately after that, the youth of Ashanti went on demonstration in their stronghold. Normally, they would take whatever the president says and water things down. But immediately, there was a massive demonstration against the president with regards to Dumso. That should tell you something. And, me, the MPP, I have a lot of relatives in the MPP. And I'll say to them, don't take these things for granted. Don't wash them away. They will come to bite you. 2008 is a typical example. 2008. Did most of the people of Ghana, didn't they know that President Akufo-Addo was winning that election? And what was President Atamils doing? He was doing his own door-to-door thing. Everybody knew Akufo-Addo is coming. What happened in that election? So let them take it for granted. Let them play politics with it. And let's see what happens on December 7th. That's all I can say.
All right. Is the MPP bribing people from Alliance Camp to come back to the party?
Lantam, I believe the people deserve some respect. Were they bribed to announce their support for the movement for change and now the AFRC? Alliance for.
ARC. That's the acronym.
AFRC, Alliance for.
ARC. That's the acronym that they say they want to go with.
But we know it as AFRC.
Usually
did the AFRC?
I will now determine
did the alliance say that the acronym is ARC? It's incorrect. It is ARC. Just mention Alliance for Revolutionary Change.
The Alliance for. A for Alliance, F for.
It is ARC.
Did they bribe out these individuals on their way supposedly out of MPP? Do you understand? I believe we need to treat people with respect. I was on set. I've been on numerous sets with the guy that led the press conference. Kumi.
Yes.
I've been on numerous sets. And you should see how vociferous he was campaigning against us. But I had always maintained that behind whatever they were saying or they were doing, lied a few issues that I believed with time they will come back to their true self. There is no future out there. The butterfly has already metamorphosed into a revolutionary entity. The butterfly. We told you the lifespan of butterfly is maximum 4 weeks, 2 weeks. It has metamorphosed into evolution. So So clearly, I would continue to plead with my people, the young ones especially.
But is there anything wrong with the revolution?
Oh, I haven't said anything. I'm only repeating who they are. And you just corrected me that it's not AFRC, it's ARC or AFC.
No, it's ARC.
ARC.
Yes.
So
Alliance
indeed,
for Revolutionary
Alliance for
Change.
Revolutionary
Is there
Change.
anything wrong with revolutionary change?
I haven't said anything. All I'm saying is that if indeed they bribe them out of MPP, then they'll have a case. But that would be very disrespectful to such people. They are always welcome. I was happy to see Kumi leading the front lines. I was happy to see Kumi because I always told him on set that on say Chibeya or Dantisa on Sayam. Now we see a change of the cry on our tafre. There's no place like home. Don't follow people to do what ordinarily you wouldn't do. It is the MPP. There are a lot of people who are sacrificed for the party. They are still sacrificing. A lot of people worked. I was in the final year, 2016, medical school, and I was keeping class to go and campaign door to door. I never had to sit to read any weekend prior to the exam. The only time I took a break was 2 weeks prior to my final exam in medical school.
How did you pass?
Oh. If you are having Dr. Baumia as your inspiration, you'll be smart. You'll be smart.
So that's why it's because of
Yes.
Dr. Baumia that you passed medical school.
In 2013, when I was watching him in court and the kind of intelligence he exuded,
So it's because of
I
your
got
belief in
inspiration.
Dr. Baumia
I got inspiration from Dr.
that you
Baumia.
passed
I
medical
got
school.
inspiration.
You didn't
Because
learn.
I believe no. What
You
I'm
were
saying is that
skipping
what
class,
I believe
but
is that
because of Dr. Baumia,
what I believe is that
your inspiration.
let me explain to you that time. That I got inspiration from Dr. Baumia, and because I knew
Yeah.
that an individual, Dr. Baumia, was able to be this intelligent. When I pick my books and I'm reading, that inspiration helps me to grasp.
That's right.
We all sacrifice for the party, and we are all sacrificing. I'll urge my brothers, those who left, you are always welcome home. The prodigal son thought, oh, going back to my father, I'm not even going to ask my father to count me a part of his children. Let me be part of your laborers. But the father welcomed him back, repositioned him where he belonged. There is a place for everyone in the MPP. Majority are those who are not holding positions today. Majority are those who are not part of campaign teams and manifesto committees. And it's the majority who fell outside those brackets that are going to campaign on the good records of this government to make sure Dr. Baumia becomes president. And those who organized Doomso demonstration after the president, Jerry, one of the comms directors in Ashanti region, NDC guy. Jerry, he even sent me invitation. So Dr. Jantwa, Mr. Jantwa, those who organized the Doomso, whatever, after the president spoke, was NDC engineered. This is Jerry NDC in Ashanti region. And he had sent me this. Ashanti Man Doomso Vigil. He had sent me this. This is Jerry.
So
clearly, engineered.
Is it because an NDC person was involved?
I'm saying that the people.
That means that all the people that were NDC people.
The people who organize this, and we know demonstrations. We know how demonstrations are organized. Let's bash people. Let's create an impression. It is not any Ashanti youth who did anything. Jerry is an NDC guy. He's a friend of mine.
Okay.
He sent me the invite. Ashanti Man doing some vigil. It is here. Don't let us sit here and create the impression that the country is collapsing and that there is no way out. And that finally, Ghanaians are going to the. Mr. Jantwa is always trying to paint a certain picture.
You want to
Come on, Mr. Jantwa. Come on. You want to accept Mr. Jantwa. Come on.
Yes, people are defecting. People are defecting from Alan's camp.
Jerry,
back to
an NDC guy. He sent me invite.
back to the MPP.
You see, let me tell you something, Lanta. I will come there.
Go there now.
Go
there now.
I've always said that
go there now.
It is very, very disrespectful when people downplay the problems people are going through. Okay.
No one has that.
The number of people who are reeling under this dose. It is very insulting for Ezekiel and his people to come and sit on TV.
You can spin it.
And
I didn't say that. People heard me.
But the reality will expose them.
You can spin it.
As for the MPP, now they are failed. The economy is in tatters. Baumia has reached for the nearest rat hole. He is unable to come out.
Go to your rehearsed lines.
To speak about the economy. Now he has run away. He's doing some tracker which is laced with a lot of lies. Nobody wants to take him serious.
You sent me an invite.
Now the strategy is to pay people. You see, we have had numerous meetings where the MPP and their campaign are influencing people with money. The same thing they came to do in Asenof. At the end of the day, they were exposed. People were standing by the roadside showing the 200 cedis notes that they came to share to them, and they voted against them. They are doing everything possible to get what they want. Even though they have failed, they have catastrophically plunged this country into chaos. They are unwilling to give the people of Ghana the opportunity to decide on their own who they want them to lead in 2025. They are doing so by packing the Electoral Commission with their people. They are packing courts.
Ridiculous.
They are packing security agencies.
Ridiculous.
And so I am not surprised that
Ridiculous.
the ALC is now saying that the MPP is paying some of their members to defect to MPP. You see, the MPP is an ordinary political party, just like ordinary people. They have no exceptional qualities. I have always said that the days when the MPP used to command certain intellectuality has been exposed, because no intellectual party will deliver this sort of government. Now I'm surprised that Ezekiel is sitting here doing propaganda that he was inspired by Dr. Baumia's intelligence. What is intelligence? What we have not seen the sort of intelligence
I don't expect you
Baumia is claiming to have in the management of the economy.
I don't expect you to see.
Lantam, today, Ghana's debt is over 650
headlines and let it be about Baumia.
From 120 billion to 650. Please, when you're talking, I kept quiet.
Oh, you're interacting me too.
No. Right now, when you're talking, I kept quiet.
Okay.
The economy has failed. Nobody can sit on TV and tell us that there is some intellectual superiority about Baumia that they are inspired about. What is inspiring about? There's nothing inspiring about him. Today, he cannot talk.
But the people seem to have been inspired by him. That's why
not true. He's doing propaganda. You'll be in medical school. You'll be in medical school and tell me that.
I mean, Dr. Baumia inspired him to pass.
Yes, now you are me. Now you are me.
But the fundamental point is that today, nobody is inspired about the MP.
Oh goodness.
Nobody is inspired.
Those who defected.
Baumia and their people.
They believe in Baumia.
They are paying money. They will come back to ALC. They will take their money.
I mean, but they said they weren't bribed. I mean, the people themselves say they weren't bribed.
Who goes to take money and come and stand on TV and say,
so we've been giving money to people and they told them not to come in?
It is a fact.
You give money to people.
It is a fact that they have been paying people.
Is that what you do?
I saw that firsthand at Asenof.
Is that what you do?
Yeah.
The people came to stand by the road. Didn't you see? After
is that what you do?
The people came to stand by the roadside and say MPP.
So you pay money to people to come and say they are supporting.
So people they don't know. They are paying. How much more people they want to defend?
So you pay people to come and say they are supporting.
Nobody has come out to say MPP has paying money.
What are you talking about? People have.
You are the ones
people went out
to do that.
People went out.
Please,
and they've seen the light. And they say I'm coming home.
What are telling me? What's right? A government that has failed. Plan the country into economic plan the country into doom. So what is inspiring about that?
What are you talking about?
There's nothing inspiring.
You are bringing out the doom. It is not
after you with braggers. They are just talking. They don't know anything.
Do your correlation.
Now people have seen them. Now people
12 weeks equals therefore
keep quiet.
4 years equals what?
Keep quiet.
Very well.
Do your own simple
people have seen them for who they are. They don't know anything. Flat-footed, empty braggers who have destroyed this country. Now nothing is even going on.
Okay.
You meet. Be 25 billion to manage your energy sector.
Thank you.
You waste the money.
We have to wrap up the day. We have just about 5 minutes. They've seen the light.
There's no light.
We have just about 5 minutes to wrap up this conversation. So let's quickly talk about the TUC, the Trades Union Congress. They are not very happy about what Professor Stephen Adair has been saying about the Ghanaian worker not being productive. When you look at the letter, the open letter they sent to Professor Stephen Adair, they discuss a plethora of issues. You know, that's the belief Professor Stephen Adair has raised, which makes them believe that he is anti-Ghanaian worker. Doc, with this one, I'll begin with you.
Future wise.
Yes.
Sammy.
Me?
Yes. I'll begin with you on this one.
So personally, I think that, of course, Professor Adair has made several statements.
Very briefly, I mean,
yes,
just 2 minutes because we have to
made several statements against workers and all that. I think that he is somebody that anytime he speaks, there are a number of people who are disenchanted by some of the claims he makes. You see, Ghanaian workers over the years have been very industrious. In fact, during COVID, even at the height of COVID, when people were afraid to come out to work, people were afraid to contract COVID, people were afraid to die because people were dying from COVID. Okay. People were still going to work. He is a doctor, he was going to work. Nurses were going to work. Other sector players were going to work. In fact, during COVID, the government exceeded its tax limits. What they wanted to get that year, they exceeded it during COVID. And so enormous work has gone into labor. People have committed themselves to give this government what they ought to get. And so I feel it is very unfortunate for people like that who have held sensitive positions, for that matter, to make claims like that. I am a young person. I work. I feel the heat when you have to work under certain conditions. Today, a lot of people are working under very horrible conditions. And so when they work, they give their all for the country to get what we have to get. I think it is very unfortunate for people like Prof. Ade, who is very revered and astute professor, to make claims like this. It is very, very unfortunate. I am hoping that he will come out to come and render an unqualified apology to the people, because people are not lazy. Ghanaians are not irresponsible. Ghanaians are very responsible. When you give us an opportunity, we deliver to the best of our abilities. And Ezekiel, Mr. Janto, I can attest to that fact. Is that when people get to a certain level in our society, they tend to see themselves above everyone. They ride on high horses and think that what other people are doing are insignificant. But it is the smaller contributions from people down there that puts people like that there. If GRA workers do not come out to come and work and be another scorching sun to tax people, how would he have survived? How would he have been successful as the leader of GRA when he was there? And so I think that is very unfortunate. And most of these people are learning from rhetorics from the president and other people. Okay? And I think that is very, very unfortunate. You recall that when President went to Kumasi for an interview, the people of Kwabre asked that things are not that well, their roads are not good. The president told them that if the roads are not good, they should go and vote for NDC. When one of the paramount chiefs in the Volta region told the president that the E-blocks had been there for a very long time, they should come and fix it. President Kufuor told the chief that if he has money, he should go and fix it. So these are some of the high-handedness, high horses statements that people in government, people in opposition, people associated with this government make when they make public statements. It is very unfortunate, and we must cut back on it.
Okay, thank you. Doc, let me come to you.
My brother started well, except they can't resist the temptation to bring in the government and the president and whichever statement they make. Like I said, started on a very good note. Part of the release by TUC dated as far as 2013.
Yeah.
Where did Prof. Stephen Ade make those statements to favor any government in 2013? When doctors were on strike, pharmacists, allied workers were on strike. They claim that Prof. Ade made similar statements against the workers back then. Did Prof. Ade make that statement or those allegations because he wanted to position the government in a certain way? That's why I said he started well, but he can't resist the temptation. But indeed, Ghanaian workers are good. Otherwise, you will employ a teacher for 3 years under Mr. Mahama. You will employ a teacher for 3 years under Prof. Nana Opoku-Agyeman as education minister and pay them 3 months, yet they're still able to work. Otherwise, teachers will not teach for 4 years without promotion under Mr. Mahama and Prof. Nana Opoku-Agyeman. Otherwise, teachers will not work for 4 good years without education leave under Mr. Mahama and Prof. Nana Opoku-Agyeman as education minister. Otherwise, teachers will not go to the classroom when they did not have chalk when they did not have chalk to teach, the same teachers under Mr. Mahama and Prof. Nana Akufo-Addo went to class to teach. So indeed, Ghanaian workers are very hardworking. We got into COVID. They came to the aid of the country. Doctors. My first time I had COVID was because, yes, a COVID patient had passed. And my boss called us to come and do CPR on the patient. And in the heat of the moment, you forget yourself to wear your PPEs because that's human life on the floor. So we came in, spent about 1 hour on the patient. And almost every doctor and nurse that worked on the man caught COVID. That was my first experience with COVID. I don't think I was lazy then. The same way doctors risked their lives, nurses risked their lives. Sami risked his life. Except Sami wants to divert into politics and do politics with everything. My brother, don't do that.
Both of you are in politics, even though you are both doctors.
No, don't do that.
So you are only the same.
So clearly,
the issue of non-payment of salary
Oh.
is clearly an uninformed position. He does not know the details about it. If you give me 30 seconds, he does not know.
No amount of explanation will alleviate that bitterness the teacher went through. The teacher that went.
You clearly do not know
the teacher that went to borrow money for 3 good years. And was given just 3 months' salary. No amount of explanation from you
clearly do
will
not
alleviate that bitterness.
You have no idea about
will alleviate that bitterness from that teacher. Please, let's Prof. Nana Akufo-Addo during her inauguration tomorrow explain to the teachers and tell them the reason why she slashed their salaries.
You have no idea.
So indeed,
so it's okay.
Indeed, we empathize with workers. Post-COVID recovery is the Ghanaian worker, which is working hard. Like I said today, Kenya is facing it with COVID. They can't employ doctors. Doctors are on strike. The health service is on its knees in Kenya. But the Ghanaian worker is working, making sure we are recovering together. Today, we talk about energy situations. And it's all because there are few challenges, obviously. But the Ghanaian worker wakes up every day to go to work. We give it to the Ghanaian worker, of course, and government empathizes and sympathizes with the Ghanaian worker. It's not for nothing that we have May Day celebration. And on May Day, we will not load journalists in trucks to go and cover May Day. We will go and celebrate workers. And we believe in the potential of the Ghanaian worker, that giving the Ghanaian the right platform, like my brother said, the Ghanaian will deliver. In the same way, Ghanaian children today are building robots and they are building drones because they've been given free SHS and they are having the right minds. They are having the Sami. Kofi Sami, relax. Kwame Sami, relax. Oh, come on. You said the Ghanaian worker, given the right conditions, is able to function. And I'm saying that the Ghanaian child today is able to build drones because the opportunity.
Mr. Jantwa, you have the floor now. What would you say about this issue as we're wrapping up, Mr. Jantwa?
You are failed in every policy.
Mr. Jantwa, please.
Let them be quiet.
They are quiet. Their mics are off.
It's quite unfortunate, the comments that Professor Adair made. Very unfortunate. Because Ghanaian workers, yes, there will be some who will probably not take the work they are doing seriously, but majority of Ghanaian workers try to do their best. And they sacrifice. Even in challenging times that the country goes through, the Ghanaian worker will sacrifice and make sure that they do what they have to do because they are being paid for the work they are doing. So it's unfortunate that the professor made those comments. And yes, it would be great if some apology would come their way by his comments. That is what he sees. That is what he feels. Is it the truth? And apparently, when you read the letter, indicated that he had said he ran some kind of survey with regards to what he was talking about. Yeah. But they don't seem to be able to access that survey. So if that is the fact, and if he still believes what he's saying is right, he should bring the evidence out. And let us all look at it. And let us all then conclude that what he's saying is right. But at this particular moment in time, I think it's unfortunate. And if anything at all, some apology needs to be had if he can't show the evidence. He was talking about people from Togo work much harder than people in Ghana. How do you work that out? When Ghanaians go abroad, do they not work hard? When Ghanaians go to places like the UK, America, and all those places, do they not work hard? Somebody who's come from Togo is working. Is he not working hard? The same way Ghanaians are working hard. Isn't it these foreign, I won't even want to call them foreign, our brothers came in, and the law, the GIPC law, which states that there are certain businesses that are meant for Ghanaians, and they saw foreigners also participating in those businesses. Didn't Ghanaians get up and protest? Why would they protest if they are not hard workers? And sometimes when you wake up early in the morning to go to the markets and see the number of women who are there trying to make sure that they are able to purchase their wares for market that morning, you can't tell me Ghanaians don't work hard. And if Ghanaians didn't work hard, this country would have collapsed ages ago. So I think that there is a point of apology if he can't show evidence of what he is talking about. But we should be very mindful, because people are going through challenge. People are struggling to make ends meet. People are doing more than 1-2 jobs just to make ends meet. So when we have the opportunity, especially when we are in certain brackets of society, we've got to be very mindful of some of the things we say, because sometimes it even deflates the ordinary Ghanaian when they hear things like that. Look, we are all in this country to build a nation. All of us sitting here commenting, we all want to build a nation called Ghana. How we build that nation is where the question is. How do we find the right way to build this nation, so that as we move forward, our children's children come and meet something good. Our forefathers, they built the nation to a certain point, didn't they? Otherwise, we won't be here. So we have the responsibility to build the nation to another point for the young ones to take over. And we can't really use our comments to derogate some of the things that Ghanaians are trying their possible best to do.
All right. Very well, Mr. Janswa. Thank you very much. And this is where we'll end the Breakfast Review segment. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us here in the studio.